painful to watch, isn't it? The slow death of Xbox, a brand that once redefined gaming with Halo's epic battles and the thrill of online multiplayer, now crumbling under the weight of its own misguided ego. Over the last 3 years, Microsoft's choices have turned loyal fans into skeptics, and this weekend's leaks about no next-gen console, more layoffs, and Game Pass hikes feel like the final twist of the knife. Subscribers are bailing in droves, retailers are dumping consoles at fire sale prices, and even diehards are calling it quits. Today we're unpacking those missteps and why the shine has dulled to a tarnish and how it all led here. And I'll be honest, I'm making this video for me as much as anyone else in an attempt to somehow cope or come to terms with what's been happening. But we'll end on a hopeful note. Ways that Xbox could claw back, because I still believe that Nintendo and PlayStation need strong competition to keep the gaming industry healthy. Let's get into it. It started strong in 2022 with the $68.7 billion Activision acquisition, say that 3 times fast, which was meant to flood Game Pass with juggernauts like Call of Duty. But by 2024, putting Black Ops 6 on Game Pass day one reportedly cost Microsoft $300 million in foregone sales. In fact, it seems that 82% of players subscribed instead of buying. Now that's not entirely bad for Xbox, but it's not growth. It's erosion. Cut it any way you want, it's still a $300 million loss. Fast forward to the present day, and Game Pass sits at just 35 million subscribers, probably less after this past weekend, which means it's completely plateaued in the last year and a half. Layoffs have been relentless. July 2025 alone saw 9,000 cuts across Microsoft, gutting Xbox teams like King, ZeniMax, and beyond. The fourth major wave in 18 months. In 18 months, studios like The Initiative shut down entirely, canceling the rebooted Perfect Dark, which still really stings because I wanted that game so bad, while Rare's Everwild joined the graveyard of unfulfilled promises. And these aren't isolated incidents, they're symptoms of a fiscal squeeze, with Microsoft forecasting revenue dips into 2026. And then there's hardware. Oof is the word that comes to mind. The Series X and S have sold about 33 million units through June 2025. Now that's respectable on paper, but it trails PlayStation 5's 77 million by a mile. The fact that they skipped a mid-gen refresh didn't help those numbers any. Instead, we saw Microsoft pivot to multi-platform ports for games like Sea of Thieves and Forza Horizon, diluting the Xbox exclusive allure that once sold consoles. And speaking of dilution, remember the "This is an Xbox" campaign? It branded everything from smart TVs, Amazon Fire Sticks, anything you could think of as an Xbox experience. The intent was to expand the ecosystem, but it backfired spectacularly. Even fans have mocked this as confusing and desperate, blurring lines between hardware and software until Xbox felt like a vague service, not a powerhouse console. And what I mean is, I think people still really like to buy a product they can hold in their hands. And for some reason, Xbox is trying to take the box out of Xbox. And I don't understand why. Why buy the box when Xbox is everywhere? It eroded brand identity at a time when clarity was crucial. And here's the core issue tying it all together: the drought of high-quality exclusives. A steady flow isn't just nice, it's essential for success. And I know that might seem like an old-school way of thinking, but think PlayStation's God of War or Horizon series, which sold millions of PS4s and PS5s by being must-plays you could only get there. Nintendo's Zelda and Mario titles do the same thing, turning Switches into impulse buys. Exclusives build loyalty, showcase hardware strengths, and drive sales. Without them, you're just another storefront. Xbox's sparse output in the last few years have left fans hungry, turning potential hardware wins into subscription shrugs. And if you don't believe me, think of this example. God of War sold over 23 million copies and boosted PS4 adoption by 20%. And these choices Xbox has been making, they didn't just sting, they scarred the brand. What was Xbox's edge, innovation, community, it now reads as inconsistency. Active users hover around that 35 million mark with no upward tick. Hardware is on a steady downhill since launch. The multi-platform shift and Xbox Everywhere messaging made it feel less like a destination and more like a feature on your phone. Trust evaporated with every cancellation and cut. Fans who banked on Game Pass for the long haul watched promised worlds like Perfect Dark vanish, replaced by price creeps. Social media echoed the betrayal, with Xbox is unstable and time to bail and all these different messages. Even many Xbox veterans lament the loss of that pioneering spirit. Without exclusives anchoring the ecosystem, the brand's just adrift, no longer the must-have for gamers chasing the next big thing. And then came the weekend that broke the camel's back. October 1st, Game Pass Ultimate jumps 50% to $29.99 a month, and perks like game discounts gutted for rewards points. Now, Microsoft seems to have backtracked slightly because as of October 7th, they have delayed the hike for existing subscribers in select countries like Germany, Italy, and I think Ireland, but only if you keep auto renew on. And it's temporary, and it excludes major markets like the US and UK. I think I got all of that right. It's a little confusing and up in the air right now, but this is still too little too late because people already canceled their subs over the weekend. And phrases like cancel now were trending on X. Microsoft's cancellation site actually crashed over the weekend because of the surge of people trying to unsubscribe from their account. Boycotts gained traction, other people were trying to stack subs preemptively before bailing, and then you layer on the rumors that hit over the weekend that next-gen hardware was up in the air or even just outright canceled, that more layoffs were to come in 2026, and retailers like Costco and Sam's Club started to clearance out their Series X and S stock at deep discounts. I think the Series X was going for like $272, which is an insane price. Now, Microsoft, as quickly as they could, denied these rumors, reaffirming their partnership with AMD for future hardware and stating they are actively investing in next gen. But the rumors just amplified because of years of doubt, because of years of them building mistrust with their fan base. And this is the painful crescendo of a slow bleed. But it's not terminal, at least not yet. Let's be honest, Microsoft has the war chest to recover. They just lack vision, and they need it. The first and immediate thing that I would do is fix Game Pass. Dial back the price, restore discounts, and maybe instead of having these pre-built tiers with things that people don't seem to want, like Fortnite Crew and Ubisoft Plus Classics, make some kind of a la carte system where you can say, hey, I do want Fortnite Crew bundled in, but I don't want Ubisoft Classics, or yeah, I want EA Play, but I don't want these other things. In today's digital age, a multi-billion-dollar tech company should easily be able to figure out a system that allows its fans to do that. And if you can convince your consumer base that your subscriptions have value, well, value rebuilds loyalty faster than anything. The second thing is recommit to hardware with a clear roadmap. You can deny the rumors all you want, but you have to prove it by announcing innovative next-gen hardware and features. I'm not here to tell you what that means. I'm just telling you it needs to happen. It's okay to occasionally branch off and test a new market by partnering with somebody like Asus, but don't do that at the expense of your in-house console. You must keep the core console in-house to maintain brand control. Third, invest in first-party studios without the layoffs. Prioritize quality exclusives that launch on time and drive hardware sales. And I want to reiterate that, quality exclusives, not Redfall. Bring back that Xbox magic with bold risks, like reviving canceled projects like Perfect Dark, or fostering indie partnerships like Ori. Why haven't we seen a new Ori game? Those were cost-effective indie-like games that people adored. Why aren't you doing more like that? Not every game has to be a $300 million AAA game. And finally, communicate transparently. No more radio silence on sales or strategy. No more backtracking on things you said you weren't going to do and then doing them anyway. Engage with the fans directly. Address their concerns. Show us you're listening, and stop being afraid to compete with Sony and Nintendo. Competition benefits everyone. It pushes Nintendo to be more innovative beyond just nostalgia, and it forces PlayStation to keep their prices fair and to continue to invest in their IPs. Now again, I don't know if anybody's going to agree with me. I'm mostly making this to help myself process all of these things. I hope that you do. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below though. Is Xbox salvageable or had they gone too far? Here's hoping it's not the end. Stay kind and encouraging out there, and I'll catch you on the flippity flip.